I don't like the smell of that pork. It's coming into my yard. I don't want it here. Please stop grilling it.
Man, you're crazy. It's just barbecue. This is America. My grill, my food. You can't tell me what to cook.
I'm asking you respectfully.
Looks real to me.
Tampa Bay, Islam event. Going undercover. Pray for me.
That's not how you go undercover. You first gotta cover up the stupidity we can see all over your face.
Written on every line on your face, and is in every nuance of your voice, and is loaded in every question that you ask.
If you had just entered the masjid like a normal human being and not like a psychopath, not only will you not get kicked out, but you'll get the much needed prayers you haven't been getting all your life.
Pray for me.
Alhamdulillah.
British people, UK people, you are getting some of the most dangerous immigrants in the world.
How dare you, sir? What problem do you have with the hard-working Indians? Just because a bunch of them can scam 100-year-old women better than you can, you got a problem with them?
Do not redeem! Do not redeem the card!
Poland? You think Poles may have some of the most dangerous immigrants in the world? I can assure you, there's no threat to Western civilization coming from Poland.
La ilaha illallah, w Polsce stoimy wysoko, za prawdę islamu odpowiadamy na wezwanie.
Yeah, but Poland.
They're coming in the UK, setting it as a base to create essentially media to destabilize the Middle East.
Yeah, shawarma shop owner Mahmoud is destabilizing the Middle East, not the pathetically drawn borders for in support of brutal dictators, and of course... You may want to charge your battery there a little more than 43% so you can start making valid points. Reminder that Sharia is rooted in... Oh my god. Riley Gaines? What? Is this Myron's wife or something? Oi! You said you keep your women in check, man. What the heck is this? Sharia law is not rooted in PDF, but your leaders certainly are. You are so vocal about releasing the files when you thought your people had nothing to do with it. But when the tides turned on July 7th, when you realized your Republican heroes are just as bad, if not worse, then, oh yeah, no further tweets on it other than a generic bull statement on July 8th. Why? Because you're a pathetic shill, and you're not very smart either. I mean, look at this! I serve Christ. That being said, I'm against the harm Epstein caused. Sex trafficking is where I draw my line. Why are you using the term, that being said? This is used to introduce a statement that may be perceived as contradictory to your previous point. For example, I can say, I'm Pakistani. That being said, I am totally against these Pakistani who groom young individuals, because one may falsely think that I have some sympathy for criminals simply because they belong to my ethnicity, something Islamic sharia forbids me from doing, by the way. You could have said, I'm loyal to Trump. That being said, I am totally against sex trafficking. Why are you saying, I serve Christ? That being said, that just makes it sound like the Christ you are serving is pro-sex trafficking. Unless, of course, this is your Christ.
I am the chosen one.
Amazing. These are the influencers of our time. And remember, she only speaks one language.
I just want. No, don't speak English. You are not supposed to speak English. You do not know that how to speak English. What the hell do you think you are talking to me? Who the hell are you?
These are the idiots we got giving reminders on Sharia law. Now, why do these intellectual hacks keep saying Sharia supports PDFs, even though it's them who do it? Mainly because these idiots don't even know what Sharia means. And as mentioned in my previous video, please watch this non-Muslim academic explain the basic concept of sharia in Islam. In the US, you are legally an adult when you're 18. However, different states have different rules. In the state of Mississippi, you are only considered an adult when you're 21. So anything younger than that, you are legally considered a child. The ICAO has set the minimum age for a commercial pilot license at 18. Imagine someone from Mississippi tweeting, "The ICAO is rooted in child labor. They allow 18-year-old children to become commercial pilots." You'd say the person tweeting isn't really the sharpest tool in the shed. So coming back to not so smart people, Islamic Sharia is not rooted in PDFs. The minimum age requirement within Islamic Sharia for a marriage to be considered complete is that the man and the woman must be adults. And in Islamic Sharia, adulthood is not measured by an arbitrary age, but by the very real biological marker of puberty. No Muslim boy or Muslim girl pre-puberty is allowed to have marital relations under Islamic Sharia. Now one might say, why? Why not have an age limit of 18? Why allow teenagers who legally cannot give consent in the Western world to get married off? A much better idea is to let them have ultimate sexual freedom in their high school years because, you know, teenagers and their raging hormones. What are you gonna do? Instead of telling them to stop, let's just teach them safe sex at school so they can have all the fun they want without the consequences of diseases or pregnancy. That'll be great for the Western traditional family unit that's definitely not in decline. But definitely no marriage at that age. Oh no, that's rooted in PDF. Now look, I'm not here saying everyone should get married in high school. What I am saying is, it makes no sense to say it's immoral and sick for 16-year-olds to get married, but if they want to have casual sex with as many people as possible, oh, why not? They're just living life. Throughout human history, an adult was not tied to a specific age, and it made sense. There's nothing magical that biologically happens at 18 that doesn't happen when you're 17 years and 364 days old. Mentally, society was forced to mature very quickly compared to today for their growth and survival. This is why you had 17-year-olds leading armies and conquering land, while today's 17-year-olds need to ask permission to go to the bathroom. The speed of life and people's maturity is very different today than if you were one of the few women in your clan back in the day, who needed to reproduce as many people as possible for your clan and tribe survival. 18 being considered an adult is a very modern Western number that arose over the past century, with no real biological reason. However, if an Islamic country today decides that the legal age of marriage should be 18 in their country, then contemporary scholars of today will say that this is not violating the laws of Sharia. And it can make sense to have that age limit if you're in an urban environment where women aren't just tending sheep and milking cows all day, but that's a discussion for another time. Now, I had another 5 minutes of material on this point, but this video is getting too long. Alright, she talks about total oppression of women. Yeah, that's not true at all, but at least we can define what a woman is. Sharia ensures that anyone committing honor gets capital punishment. If a Muslim country is too weak to enforce that, it's not the fault of Sharia. Whatever, man. Let's just move on. Spent way too much time on one idiot. What do you think would happen to all the Christian holy sites if the people in charge of that land were run by Islamists?
Never argue with stupid people.
Yeah, you're not a misfit patriot. You're a misfit with the human species. I think you belong somewhere back there.
You see them evolutionary charts from Neanderthal to Homo sapien?
Yeah.
Y'all are the first out of Neanderthal.
Bichara. Who do you think preserved your holy sites for over 1,300 years? Why does a Muslim still hold the keys to your holiest church in the world? Alright, who's next? You may not know this, but wait. That's our boy, Abu Tariqul! I told you to go to sleep, didn't I? Oh man, what a breath of fresh air! Finally, someone with a tolerable level of stupid.
I've had AI recreate 4 versions of a very popular surah from the Quran. Version 1. May the scrolls of Abu Tariqal crumble.
You may not know this, but Muslims believe that Abraham built the Kaaba. Yes, Abraham. The only problem is that there's not a shred of evidence for this view. You can always count on Abu Tariqal to throw the good old argument of, it's not true because my Bible says so. There's not a shred of evidence that Abraham ever existed either, except for your scripture, which is not evidence for anyone outside of your worldview, as pointed out by the good brother here. So if Abraham exists because my Bible says so, then Ibrahim alayhi salam built the Kaaba because my Quran says so. If you want a better argument than this, then come up with something higher IQ than that. When I moved to the UK from Iran, I genuinely thought I would never have to hear that damn call to... I don't know why I'm doing the British accent. I genuinely thought I would never have to hear that damn call to prayer ever again. I was very naive. Let me make the message very simple. If you don't like it here, it's okay. You can go to... Poland. Arabic music blasting in downtown Stuttgart, Germany, right in the middle of the Christmas market. Islam does not assimilate, they conquer. No. No. Look, this is not fair. It's a Christmas market. How can you have Arabic music blasting? Don't worry, Mr. Alexander Dukan. Let me rally up the most assimilated Muslims I can find. Ah, there they are. Alright, guys, we're gonna sing a good old festive, traditional Western Christmas song.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la.
We can do better than that, given how well we've assimilated. Now, let me just fit myself in here. Alright, everyone ready? Deck the halls with Aitel Kursif, la 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 la. If current trends continue, whites will go from being a small minority of world population today to virtually extinct.
In a matter of years, Europe as we know it will cease to exist.
If there were no other races in existence, just you guys, pure 100% white people, you'd still be in population decline because of your mad, backwards, self-sabotaging culture.
You're mad backwards.
Stop blaming the rest of the world for your stupidity. We didn't tell you to destroy your institution of marriage. We didn't tell you to normalize sexual intercourse outside of marriage. We didn't tell you to start having temporary fling relationships in high school, only to break those up when you're in college, to then go wild and even experiment with your sexuality, to then finally settling with one person if you're lucky to find one. Have a live-in relationship with them throughout your early to late 20s, where the girl is desperately hoping the guy proposes to her soon because her biological clock is ticking, while the guy is thinking that if I end up marrying this woman, she has all the leverage to my assets, future custody of kids, and the law if things ever get too ugly. So I'm good just having this fun live-in relationship. But let's say you cross all those hurdles and get married. Congrats! You still can't afford to have kids because daycare for each child is as expensive as paying rent for an additional house or apartment, and both spouses still have to work to pay the bills. And the grandparents aren't going to help because in your culture, your kids are now your problem and not their headache. Oh, you wanted to work remote to save on daycares? Hell no! We want our employees coming in 5 days a week, 9 to 5:30. Who the hell created this mess? Sharia law? Did the Muslim Brotherhood infiltrate the American culture and economy in the 60s to bring about this downfall? Jahil log. Well, it's just two people. It's not like they're raising a future army of Muslim Japanese kids running around.
But why are we allowing them to come in to begin with? From cultures that are utterly incompatible with our own. And you're right, I'm sure somebody will call me Islamophobic for saying that, but I care about my wife and my kids and my country a whole lot more than I care about political correctness.
If you care about them so much, get them the hell out of Western culture. The only culture humanity knows of that glorifies an entire legalized industry of women selling themselves online. Now look, to be fair, it's not like, oh, Western culture bad. There's nothing good here. Culture in the Muslim world, oh wow, everything's perfect. That's not the message we're giving here. All cultures have good elements, and all cultures have flaws, because it's all man-made and not divine. My problem is when these hacks come pretending Western culture is the most superior thing ever created, and everything else just sucks and is dragging humanity down. Then I just gotta reply in kind. Crowded central shopping streets, not one burqa in sight, no blacks. Festive vibes. I did not see one such burqa in huge crowds everywhere in 3 days in Rome.
Just because you put the brightness up on your freaking face doesn't mean you're not white. You're still Indian. And he's literally telling this poor Indian, yo, you're too Indian. You need to get white.
Thank you for watching till this point. Please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to join our Discord server as well.